The car you drive past every day, the one with the blue and white badge. It can lose its brakes without warning at any speed. In 2025, BMW recalled 71,847 of their flagship electric vehicles because of exactly this failure. Not a rumor, a federal filing. Document number 25V-395. Here is what BMW actually looks like right now. Their most important market is collapsing. Their most ambitious product is their worst selling car. And they are spending billions on technology that has never been proven at scale. This is the story of how the world's greatest car brand lost its way and what happens next. To understand how BMW is failing, you first need to understand how extraordinary it is that BMW even exists. This is not a company that was handed success. This is a company that was nearly destroyed multiple times and clawed its way back every single time through sheer engineering obsession. It starts in 1916, not with cars, not with motorcycles, with aircraft engines. BMW, Bayerische Motorenwerke, was born to power World War I German fighter planes. When Germany lost the war, the Treaty of Versailles banned the country from building aircraft engines. BMW should have died right there in 1918. They didn't. They pivoted to motorcycles. Then in 1928, they bought a small company called Dixie and built their first car. Second near-death experience, World War II. BMW's factories were almost completely destroyed by Allied bombing. By 1959, the company was on the verge of bankruptcy. Daimler was circling, preparing to absorb them. What saved them? Two things. First, a tiny rear-engine city car called the BMW 700 that nobody expected to sell. It started selling. Second, and far more importantly, the Quandt family. The Quandt family stepped in and saved BMW in 1959. Today they own approximately 47% of the company. Without them, there is no BMW. But here is what BMW's marketing department has worked very hard to keep out of the conversation. Before the Quandts became BMW's anchor shareholders, their family's industrial empire used forced labor. Thousands of workers from Nazi-era concentration camps in factories building batteries and weapons components during the war. In 2007, a German television documentary forced the family to publicly confront this history. They commissioned an independent investigation, admitted the facts, and expressed regret. But for decades before that, buried. This is not ancient, irrelevant history. It is the financial origin story of the family that controls BMW to this day. And BMW's communications department does everything in its power to make sure this chapter stays out of the conversation. After the Quandt stabilized the company, BMW made one of the great strategic decisions in automotive history. In the early 1960s, they launched the original Neue Klasse, the new class. Sporty, elegant sedans, affordable but genuinely premium. That obsession with making a car more engaging to drive than anything else at its price, that was the DNA. That was the promise. By the 1970s, BMW had a slogan that became one of the most powerful sentences in the history of marketing: the ultimate driving machine. This was not spin. For decades, it was a genuine engineering commitment. 50-50 weight distribution, rear-wheel drive when competitors went cheap with front-wheel drive, inline-six engines that sounded and felt like nothing else. They built something rare in any industry, a brand that enthusiasts trusted completely. And then, piece by piece, they started dismantling it. This is where the story gets genuinely shocking. On the surface, BMW looks healthy. In 2025, they generated 133.5 billion euros in revenue. That is a continent-spanning industrial empire. But revenue is what you make before you subtract what it costs to make it. And costs at BMW are rising faster than revenue. Here is what the data actually shows. Operating profit down 11.5% from the prior year. Market capitalization 46 euros to 52 billion euros. Stock from its 2024 peak down 23%. The PE ratio, the single most revealing number. To understand what that means, Tesla has historically traded above 40. Even Mercedes, facing similar headwinds, trades at a higher multiple than BMW. BMW's PE is the valuation of a company the market has partially written off as a growth story, not a luxury powerhouse. a managed decline industrial asset. The China collapse, the most important number in this entire video. At its peak, China accounted for over 1/3 of all BMW sales globally. Then something structural shifted. BYD, NIO, Xiaomi, better software, better Mandarin voice integration, better infotainment designed for Chinese platforms at dramatically lower prices. BMW lost 200,000 annual sales in China in 2 years. That is not a correction. That is structural displacement. The platform compromise. Why BMW's EVs were broken before they were built. There is one financial decision inside BMW's engineering strategy that created the product problems. The BMW 4 Series, i4 and M4 all share the same underlying CLAR chassis architecture. But an EV designed for pure electric performance needs a completely different structure than a combustion car. BMW's shared platform approach meant their early EVs were, by design, compromised. Heavier than necessary, less range efficient, less aerodynamically optimized. Tesla builds computers on wheels, designed electric from day one. BMW bolted an electric motor onto a car already designed for a combustion engine. The market noticed the difference immediately. Now we get to the part of the story that BMW has spent serious money and serious effort keeping buried. Because the trust problem at BMW is not just about cars that break down, it runs deeper. And it involves some of the most brazen examples of corporate betrayal in the history of the luxury automotive industry. Secret 1. BMW's own Dieselgate, the scandal that makes VW look honest. You know about Volkswagen's Dieselgate. 2015. On real roads, the cars emitted up to 40 times the legal nitrogen oxide limit. It became the biggest corporate scandal in automotive history. What almost nobody knows, BMW was doing the same thing. Germany's Federal Motor Transport Authority opened a formal investigation into BMW. The software detected when the air conditioning was switched off, which is standard lab test procedure, and ran the engine in a cleaner mode. In real-world driving, with the AC on, the car emitted significantly higher nitrogen oxide levels. This affected approximately 150,000 vehicles across Europe. In January 2024, the UK High Court ruled that drivers could sue BMW. US class action settled at approximately $1,500 per affected owner. But here is what makes this worse than the VW scandal. In 2021, the European Commission fined BMW and the Volkswagen Group a combined €875 million for operating an illegal cartel. For 5 years, BMW executives held secret meetings with rivals. They colluded, actively and deliberately, to ensure none of them would compete on developing better emission screening technology. They had the technology. AdBlue urea injection systems that would have meaningfully cleaned up their diesel exhaust. They chose not to deploy it fully, to save money. The company selling you the ultimate driving machine on an environmental premium was secretly meeting with its rivals to keep their cars more polluting than the law required. That is not a mistake. That is a choice. BMW's communications team buried this as efficiently as possible. Ask 10 BMW enthusiasts about it today. 9 will have never heard of it. Secret 2. The brake recall. 71,847 cars that could kill you. Picture this. You are driving a $120,000 BMW iX. Brand new, flagship electric vehicle. You are doing 75 miles per hour on the highway. You need to stop. You press the brake pedal. And nothing happens the way it should. The integrated brake module, the system that generates the hydraulic pressure that actually stops the car, has malfunctioned. The power assist is gone. The ABS is misbehaving. You are now trying to generate stopping force manually with your leg against 5,000 pounds of vehicle traveling at highway speed. BMW filed recall 25V-395 with NHTSA in June 2025. 71,847 vehicles. iX, i4, i5, i7, their entire flagship electric lineup. That recall was separate from a different recall filed in the same period, where a software error in the electric drive motor could randomly shut down the entire high voltage system while driving. 2 different recalls, same vehicles, same period. One stops the car randomly, the other removes your ability to stop it deliberately. Safety. Actions. One model year, 1 year. This is what happens when a mechanical engineering company tries to become a software engineering company in a decade. The hardware is beautiful. The code is broken. Secret 3. The engineering disasters. BMW swept under the rug. The N63 V8. The engine that ate itself. Imagine you just paid $75,000 for a BMW 7 Series. You are 6 months past your warranty. You are on I-95 doing 75 miles per hour when the oil warning light comes on. You pull into a gas station. You check the dipstick. There is almost no oil. You have driven 800 miles since your last oil change. This is not a maintenance story. This is what the N63 twin-turbocharged V8 engine did to thousands of BMW owners, systematically, predictably, and by design. BMW made a decision called hot V packaging. They placed the twin turbochargers inside the V of the engine block, surrounded by heat on every side. The turbos cooked the valve stem seals. Seals hardened, cracked, failed. Oil burned off at rates BMW's own engineers had to know were unsustainable. BMW's response was not a recall. They called it a customer care package. No press release, no announcement. Certain owners, if they knew to ask, if their dealer cooperated, could get free engine work. On a BMW, that repair is $8,000 to $15,000. On a car that might be worth $12,000. Some paid more than the car was worth. The plastic cooling systems, a disaster built into every car. Across multiple generations, BMW used hard plastic for critical cooling system components, water pump housings, thermostat housings, expansion tanks. These plastics heat up and cool down every single time you drive. After approximately 80,000 miles, they become brittle, they crack. When your cooling system cracks at highway speed, your engine overheats within minutes. If you do not immediately pull over, you warp the cylinder head. Sometimes you crack the engine block. You knew. They continued using these components for years. They never issued a proactive recall. Owners discovered the problem on the side of the road. The N47 timing chain, the repair that required removing the entire engine. The timing chain was mounted at the back of the engine block, a packaging decision to save space. Fixing them required removing the entire engine to access the rear of the block, a $5,000 repair. BMW issued an extended warranty for some markets, not all. Thousands of owners paid the full price for a problem BMW created. Secret 4. The subscription seat heater. The moment BMW revealed what they think of you. In 2022, BMW introduced a subscription model. You pay a monthly fee to unlock features already present in your car. Features whose hardware you already paid for when you bought the vehicle. Heated seats, $18 per month. The wires were there, the heating elements were operational. BMW simply placed a software lock on it. The global backlash was instant and furious. Every automotive forum, every business publication, BMW walked it back. But here is why this matters beyond the absurdity of the story. It told every customer exactly how the board sees them. As a recurring revenue stream attached to a car, BMW believes it still partially owns. The ultimate driving machine became the ultimate subscription machine, and every enthusiast who heard about it felt personally betrayed. Because they were. BMW is not fighting one competitor, they are fighting 5 simultaneously on different terrain with different weapons, and they are not cleanly winning any of them. War 1. Tesla. The software battle BMW didn't know it had already lost. Cars are no longer evaluated like machines. They are evaluated like smartphones. And Tesla is the iPhone. Tesla also built the supercharger network, widely recognized as the best EV charging experience on earth. Reliable, fast, everywhere. War 2. BYD. The cost annihilation. BYD is not a car company. BYD is a vertically integrated empire. They mine their own lithium. They manufacture their own battery cells. They build their own electric motors. This vertical integration means BYD can build a competitive electric vehicle for approximately 30% less than BMW can. War 3. Mercedes. Competing on someone else's terms. If the engine no longer differentiates you, compete on opulence. The S-Class became an even more dramatic, rolling luxury statement. Suddenly, you are competing on Mercedes terms. And Mercedes has 130 years of experience at that exact game. War 4. Porsche. The performance betrayal from within BMW's own DNA. For any buyer who genuinely wants the ultimate driving machine in an electric package, Porsche captured them completely with the Taycan. War 5. Chinese brands. The home turf collapse. NIO offers battery swapping. 3 minutes to a full battery, no waiting. Xiaomi's SU7 launched with specs matching BMW's EVs at a fraction of the price. Backed by an ecosystem most Chinese consumers already live inside daily. These brands know how their customers speak, what apps they use, what they want their car to feel like. BMW's response has been to open localized software development centers in China. It is the correct move. It is 3 years too late. Before I show you BMW's biggest mistake, I need to show you something from 1978. The BMW M1 mid-engine, naturally aspirated straight 6, rear-wheel drive, built to race at Le Mans. It was not a modified production car. It was a purpose-built racing machine that happened to be street legal. The M1 became a legend, and BMW never made another standalone M car. For 45 years, they were all modified versions. In 2022, BMW announced the return, the first standalone M car in 45 years. The car that was supposed to define what the M badge means in the 21st century. This is what they made. 6,000 pounds. BMW XM weight. 1,800 pounds heavier than a Ford F-150. This is BMW's ultimate performance vehicle. A plug-in hybrid V8 SUV. Starting price $159,000. Electric only range approximately 30 miles. After that, a heavy, thirsty V8, moving a body the size and weight of a small truck. The M badge has one definition: uncompromised performance, ferocity on a racetrack, the feeling that the car is alive beneath you. Physics does not care about branding. A 6,000-pound hybrid SUV does not deliver those things. It cannot, simply cannot. The design divided opinion so violently that in most markets it became the joke car. The car enthusiasts pointed to. Kidney grills, the largest ever fitted to a production BMW. Lighting elements so intricate they read as visual noise. In the United States, the XM became BMW's worst-selling vehicle. Not worst in its segment, worst of any BMW. BMW used the return of the most legendary M car concept to chase ultra-wealthy buyers who were never going to respect the M badge anyway. They hollowed out the symbol that made the brand credible. But here is where this story takes a turn, because BMW is not going quietly. They are making the single biggest bet in their 108-year history. And if it works, everything we've covered today becomes the opening chapter of BMW's greatest comeback. If it fails, everything we have covered becomes the opening chapter of BMW's managed decline. It is called Neue Klasse, the new class, not a car, an entirely new architecture. Ground-up electric platform, no shared components with combustion vehicles. No compromises from multi-powertrain packaging. Built electric from the first line of code. And on paper, the numbers are genuinely remarkable. Battery energy density, 20% higher than current Gen 5 cells. 30% more range, 30% faster charging. The 50% battery cost reduction, the only number that matters. Battery costs are the single biggest reason electric vehicles are expensive to build. They are also the reason BMW cannot currently match BYD's pricing without destroying their margins. If BMW genuinely achieves a 50% reduction, it changes the competitive equation entirely. They can price more aggressively in China without bleeding margin. They can make premium EVs accessible to a wider audience without becoming a mass market brand. That 50% number is why Neue Klasse is existential. Hit it and BMW has a credible path forward. Miss it and the cost disadvantage against BYD compounds every single year. The super brain, heart of joy computing architecture. Today's BMW has dozens of separate computers, each managing a different system. communicating through architecture designed piecemeal over 30 years. It's messy, it's slow, and it needs a total overhaul. The reason introducing one new software feature sometimes breaks three existing ones. Neue Klasse replaces all of it with 4 high-performance central computers. BMW claims 20 times the computing power of current systems. If true, this fixes the software reliability problem and gives BMW the foundation for genuine AI integration. The keyword is if true. BMW has promised software leadership before. The original iDrive system, launched in 2001, was supposed to be the future. Anyone who owned one remembers how that worked out. Anyone who owned one. The hydrogen wildcard, the bet nobody is talking about. While the industry debates battery chemistry, BMW is quietly maintaining a parallel bet on hydrogen. The BMW iX5 Hydrogen is in pilot fleet programs. Engineering partnerships with Toyota are active. We are making progress. Their reasoning? Pure battery EV adoption, not uniform. Countries with long distances, extreme cold and deep winter, and inadequate charging infrastructure face structural barriers that batteries cannot solve. Hydrogen refuels in 3 minutes and has unlimited range. 3 minutes. If the world eventually realizes batteries aren't enough, BMW will be one of the only legacy automakers to respond. The solid-state battery partnership, a deep collaboration. BMW has an active investment in a Colorado company, Solid Power, developing solid-state cells that replace liquid electrolyte with a solid material. Potentially safer, more energy-dense, faster charging, safer and denser. BMW has been testing these cells on real roads since 2025. Real roads. If solid state reaches commercial viability, BMW wants to be first in the premium segment. This is the kind of forward hedge that suggests a long-term vision. BMW's engineering teams, at least, are thinking beyond the next quarterly earnings call. The strengths. What BMW still gets right. The B58 and S58 engines. Proof that BMW's engineering soul still exists. In the middle of everything we have discussed, BMW's engineering team produced one of the most celebrated internal combustion engines of the 21st century, the B58 turbocharged inline 6. It is so durable, so refined, so overbuilt that Toyota used it to power the GR Supra. An engine so good that a direct competitor trusted it with their most important sports car. Financial discipline. They can actually afford this bet. Despite declining profitability, BMW's balance sheet is solid. Their financial services division, which is essentially a bank that finances car purchases, generates billions annually and acts as a buffer for the automotive division during this expensive transition. They have historically held over 13 billion euros in cash reserves. They can fund Neue Klasse. Most competitors in similar transitions cannot say that. Technology openness, the strategy everyone mocked that turned out to be right. BMW CEO Oliver Zipse refused to commit to an all-electric timeline when every competitor was racing to announce one. He maintained combustion, hybrid, and battery EV simultaneously. He was widely mocked for it. Global EV demand growth slowed dramatically faster than analysts predicted. Mercedes announced an all-electric future in 2021 and had to quietly reverse course by 2023. BMW never had to reverse anything. Their multi-technology stance meant they never abandoned their most profitable products in pursuit of a mandate the market was not ready to fulfill. The failures. What BMW must fix to survive. Software culture. Failure 1. The most critical failure is not a product failure, it is a cultural one. BMW does not have the internal software development culture, talent pipeline, or process architecture to ship reliable code at the pace the market now demands. The recalls, the glitches, the brake-by-wire failures, these are symptoms of that cultural gap. Neue Klasse's heart of joy architecture is the technical answer. But technical architecture does not fix culture. That requires different hiring, different processes, and probably different leadership incentives. China strategy. Failure 2. Price cuts are a symptom of strategic confusion, not a strategy. BMW needs to decide whether they are fighting for mass market share in China, where BYD's cost advantage makes that a losing battle, or retreating to the ultra-premium segment, where brand heritage still commands a premium and local competition is thinner. They cannot do both indefinitely without losing both. Failure 3. Design credibility. Enthusiast community is BMW's most powerful distribution channel. They write the forum posts, they make the YouTube videos, they recommend BMW to friends and colleagues. That community has been systematically alienated by the massive kidney grills, the XM, and the subscription seat debacle. The Neue Klasse design direction, cleaner, more resolved, suggests BMW's designers heard the feedback. The production cars need to deliver on what the renders promise. Failure 4. Trust. The hardest thing to rebuild. Trust does not return with a product launch. It returns with years of consistent decisions that demonstrate the company respects the people who buy their cars. Every recall handled without drama. Every software update that adds features without removing others. Every pricing decision that treats the customer as a partner, not a revenue stream. BMW has not yet earned back the trust they spent the 2020s burning through. The question that matters. The question nobody else is asking about BMW, and the only one that actually decides the outcome. BMW has survived near bankruptcy twice. A world war. A total world war. The diesel scandal. The Rover disaster. The iDrive catastrophe. The N63 engine crisis. Every single time they came back. Stronger. More focused, more dangerous. Every previous crisis BMW faced was about making better cars, better reliability, better engineering, better design. The solution always lived inside the discipline BMW already possessed. The current crisis is fundamentally different. BMW must transform from a mechanical engineering company, one of the greatest in the history of human industrial achievement, into a software, data, and battery technology company. They must do this transformation in real time, on live products with customers watching. And they must do it while simultaneously preserving the emotional connection, the brand identity, and the driver's experience that made those customers choose BMW in the first place. Tesla was built for this era from its first day of existence. BYD was built for this era. Neither of them had 100 years of combustion engineering muscle memory to overcome. Neither of them had to convince a workforce that their entire skill set needs to evolve. BMW does. BMW Neue Klasse is their most serious, most honest answer to that challenge. It is ambitious, it is well funded, it is on paper impressive. And if the engineering teams deliver what they are promising, if the batteries hit 50% cost reduction, if the superbrain ships clean code, if the design lands with the enthusiasts, then this video will look like the opening chapter of BMW's third great act. But if the software ships buggy, if the battery cost numbers come in soft, if China does not stabilize, if BYD or Xiaomi cracks the European premium segment before Neue Klasse establishes a beachhead, then the story we have told today will not be the story of a company under pressure. It will be the story of the beginning of the end. BMW spent 100 years telling the world it builds the ultimate driving machine. Now, for the first time in its history, it has to prove that. Not with an engine, with a line of code. That is the complete BMW story. The empire, the scandals, the engineering disasters, the desperate bet on the future. If this changed how you think about how the world's biggest companies actually operate, if you learn something here that you will not find anywhere else, this channel is built for you. Hit subscribe. Every week we do this for a different company. Deep, no punches pulled, the real story. And drop a comment right now. One question, do you think Neue Klasse saves BMW? Or is this the beginning of the end for the Bavarian Empire? The company we are covering next has the opposite problem. They have so much money that governments around the world have spent a decade trying to take some of it away from them and failing. They have so much data that their own engineers do not fully understand what they know. They have so much market dominance in their core business that federal judges in 2 separate countries have now ruled they are an illegal monopoly. And inside this company, right now, there is an AI lab that believes it is building technology that will make every other technology irrelevant, including the one that made them rich. They have a secret that 3 billion people who use their products every single day do not know about. Next week on Strategy Lens, we are doing Google, the full autopsy, the monopoly that was not supposed to be legal, the advertising empire that funds everything, the AI arms race, the antitrust case that could force one of the most powerful companies on earth to be broken apart. Subscribe now, it drops next week, and you are going to want to be there.